Hello everyone and welcome back to The Little Quilter. Today we're going to be continuing work on the Pas De Deux quilt and we're going to be doing this really beautiful yellow piece right here. My plan for it is really something pretty geometric. I feel like a lot of the quilt has either been very flowy or very geometric, but based on I feel like this design is very geometric, and so I've sort of played off of the design and used it to kind of help guide me with what I wanted to do. You know, don't get me wrong, I did struggle a little bit with this one for a couple of the pieces, especially some of these square blocks up here where they're just such a large block and I wasn't quite sure what to do with them. But I do think that it's going to turn out well, and I do think that it's going to be a really pretty part of the quilt. The other thing though is that because of this yellow fabric, it really blends really well with the cream thread, and so I don't think that this thread is really going to pop like it does on some of the other parts of the quilt. And so potentially I could do more intricate or detailed quilting on this and not worry as much that the thread would be sort of jarring or overwhelming. I don't know that my pattern is really going to cause that, but just for people looking at this pattern and thinking, well, what else could I do with this part? If you have a thread color that really matches, it's going to blend a lot more. And so, you know, you could do potentially denser patterns and not worry as much of that you're almost like thread painting or distracting from the background. So, but without further ado, let's go ahead, jump into this and see what you guys think. Here we go. All right, everybody, that is this block completed. I hope that you guys really like the design. I think it came out really well. I know there's a lot of open space in this part of the quilt, but I just feel like it does kind of like, I don't know, I think it helps the quilt breathe a little bit to just have that open space. And I think it's going to help as it age, you know, as the quilt ages, to give it that sort of patina where it wrinkles a little bit. I know some people don't like that, but I also feel like when we look at these older quilts and they have that lovely wrinkle, it just, you know, it's like a memory of love, basically, you know, of how much that quilt was loved and used. And I don't know, I like that idea of just giving areas for the quilt to show its age, to show its love, to show how much this thing was enjoyed over the years. And I'm enjoying it right now. I'm enjoying making it. I also like how the star blocks are kind of mimicked with those really sharp points and kind of accentuated. I think that turned out really well. You know, I know there's a lot of just sort of straight line quilting in it as well, but I do kind of like that, and I think it gives a nice texture and a feel to the quilt. So, you know, I hope that you guys enjoyed it as well. And as always, this is the Pas De Deux quilt. We're getting close to the end. I know it's been kind of a journey and probably a lot longer than some of you guys wanted it to be, but slowly but surely we're making it there. I've got a couple other blocks that I'm still kind of struggling to design and figure out how to do right here at the end. You know, you feel like you don't want to do the same thing over and over again, but then there are certain patterns that just kind of call you. And you're like, oh, I want to use that. And you're like, oh, I've used that like 3 times already. I don't want to use it again. So that's where I'm at with my designing right now. So there's a lot of pulling out the iPad, drawing on it, and completely erasing everything I draw, going, that's just not it. So that's where I'm at. I hope that you guys enjoyed the video. I look forward to doing more of the Pas De Deux quilt. And as always, have a wonderful day, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.